I'm a second generation real estate broker. My dad was a broker for about 20 years. At the beginning, it was naturally, hey, you can make really great money, but it evolved into something much more, into an actual purpose. So I started TenFold Real Estate almost 4 years ago now. We partnered with Side Incorporated, which is a white label brand brokerage that provides us all of our tech stack. We're a small team. We are basically referral only. We still do a lot of marketing otherwise, but the majority of our business, I would say close to 85%, comes from previous clients and referrals from those clients.
Want to attract and convert more leads? Want to learn how digital PR, branding, and SEO can establish and build your brand identity? Welcome to the Market Movers Building Brands and Links with Linkify podcast. We answer these questions and help you ramp up your brand visibility and credibility. Let's cut through the noise and make your business the talk of the town. We're your hosts, Nick and Chris. Let's get this show on the road.
Welcome to the Market Movers podcast. Today, I am delighted to be joined by Tyler Davidson, broker at TenFold Real Estate, to unpack how referral-only, community-first model scales in a world obsessed with AI, ads, and automation and all that good stuff. Welcome to the show, Tyler.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Okay, if you could just start by giving us a brief intro, who you are, how you got started with TenFold Real Estate.
Yeah, I'd love to. So I'm a second generation real estate broker. My dad was a broker for about 20 years. He's mostly retired now, works when he wants, which is a great system for everybody. I got into it out of college, actually went to school for being a teacher, got my degree in adolescence education, and realized that I wanted to do something where I could have more of an impact on every person that I communicated with, not 150 kids or 150 students, and only really reaching out to like 10 or 15 of them in a session. So looked at something where I could take a smaller sample size and really put all my effort into them. And my dad, obviously being in real estate, it was kind of just fell into it naturally. Loved what I did. Of course, at the beginning, it was naturally like, hey, you can make really great money. But it evolved into something much more than that. It evolved into an actual purpose. So I started TenFold Real Estate almost 4 years ago now. We partnered with Side Incorporated, which is a white label brand brokerage that provides us all of our tech stack. So it allows us to focus on what we're best at, which is being salespeople, which is being customer service, which is, helping all of our clients individually. So it's been a blessing with that, where we can just focus on what we need to focus on. So we're a small team. We, as you said, are basically referral only. I shouldn't say referral only. We still do a lot of marketing otherwise, but the majority of our business, I would say close to 85%, comes from previous clients and referrals from those clients. So we've focused entirely on just everything we can do to make their life better.
That's awesome. And we have a lot of real estate agents as clients, and it's all about client acquisition. So to have a 85% referral business model, I think is awesome. And I want to break that down. One first quick question off the bat. You said you're a second generation realtor. Did your dad lay some of that groundwork for you? Were you able to leverage some of that reputation with your business, or are those two things sort of not really connected?
No, absolutely. He definitely laid down the groundwork for not just my own business, but our clients. We have a lot of joint clients where he was generous enough to refer some people to me early on. Mm-hmm. And so I've been able to get where I am, I would say a lot of the reason because of him. And the entire referral only business, honestly, was just based off of him showing me that was the way to go. And I fought it at the very beginning, tooth and nail, just saying Dad, look, at the internet's got so much potential. You can do so much, and you can pay for leads, and you can get all this business. And he's like, yep. And we're going to do it this way. And I fought it all the way through. But after about 7 or 8 years of realizing I don't want to wake up on a Saturday morning at 8 a.m. and start cold calling. I don't want to call all the expireds. I don't want to call all the canceled listings. I don't want to dial for dollars, so to speak. That was just not who I am. It's just antithetical to my nature. So to be able to just say, you know what, rather than spending that Saturday morning, dialing for dollars, I'll go over to a client's house and help them get their property ready. I'll help them with, if we've done packing for clients, we've helped them move, we've done landscaping projects with them. We're not afraid to get our hands dirty. So that's just how we've always operated. And props to him for showing us that this is the way to do it, and it works. And don't back down to the fear of, well, everything is going to be internet generated in some day, so therefore we have to do it that way. So that's how we started, and we've melded in some of the SEO, we've melded in some of the digital campaign builders and things like that, where you can pick up and kind of fill in some of the gaps that we have, but the majority of our business still comes and is dedicated to referral only.
With the referral sort of strategy, was there growing pains early on? You said the business is 4 years now. It's something that I imagine takes time to compound. So how did that look like in the early years? And has it got to a point now where it sort of compounds at an even faster rate? The more that you please clients, the more people they tell, the more you get referred. So what's that look like in terms of a growth journey?
Yeah, it's certainly been a journey. The first year to 2 years of starting TenFold was a little bit slower. We went through some really good years as our previous brokerage before we rebranded and joined Aside Incorporated. So there was some growing pains that way. But once people realized that it's a new name with the same people, it was just easy to kind of have people realize, like, yeah, they've been around forever. We've been working in our area for over 20 years. So people saw our names. They didn't necessarily recognize the new brand when we started. But you have to realize that we are our own brand. I'm my own brand. Another agent on my team is his own brand. Everybody has their own brand. So it doesn't matter really what the name on the sign is. They're looking at who the agent is who's selling the house. And then once people realize that, it was easy going after that.
Okay. And is this something which you think can be like easily replicated? Like agents that are just burning cash money after cash money on leads from the portals and all of that stuff. Like, it's a great, we get a lot of referrals. Don't get me wrong. It's like the best sort of business you can get. You've already been spoken about in a trusted way. You are no longer in this sort of cold environment when you're talking to this prospective client. You've been like warmly introduced from someone that you've worked with before. It is the holy grail of business, but it is, is it something which other agents can replicate? And if they can, how would they try and transition some of their revenue to a referral model?
That's a good question. Long and short answer, yes, it's duplicatable, but no for the majority of agents out there. And I don't say that as a knock to agents. I just know the nature of most real estate agents out there. And it's the attention span is very fleeting. It's always looking at the shiny object. It's looking at, oh, look at this new program that's promising leads and we're only paying a percentage and we can do this. And the easiest way to make money is to sell something to a real estate agent, in my opinion, because we're all about spending money to make money. So if you can create something that has a shred of evidence to show, yeah, it's possible for you to make a killing on this and your life's going to change overnight by signing up for this program and it's only $5.99, then people are going to do it. But for the right agent who has the wherewithal to know that there are better ways to do this, where we're not paying money to go towards our leads, we're paying money to put into our clients' pockets, to give back to charities, to basically make our community better. I think that those agents are able to duplicate this. But I would think that more than 50% of the agents out there are not going to follow the script that we've put together. So that's where we're at.
Okay, so let's get granular then. Let's look at this, because this isn't just okay, we're going to do good work for our clients and hope they refer us. You obviously have a lot more going on behind the scenes there. You said you had a script. You've also mentioned to me as well about give back, charitable give back. Like, what does what does that granular strategy look like with a new client? How does Tyler Davidson turn that client into someone who is at some point potentially in the future going to refer you business?
So most of the clients that are coming to us are referrals from other clients. So we've already done the impressing with the past client and they're like, oh my gosh, this is the only person you need to talk to. They done, and they're the case study for us. We can show like, hey, Susie Q down the street, we sold her place for this, and this is what we did for her. So the case study is there, and we just need to say like the playbook that we've created for her is going to be very similar. We're going to tweak it and tailor it to you, but this is what we do. And rather than spending money on the paying for the leads, we've, as you were mentioning, a charity program we have. It's called the TenFold Impact Initiative. And we created it a little over a year ago now. We're donating tens of thousands of dollars to local charities. And basically the design behind it is we take 10% of our net income and donate it to a charity of that client's choice. So we close on a house with you, you sell it for $1 million, then, we're obviously collecting commission on it. And you as the seller would then get to choose, between 3 charities that we work with locally here. So basically just a portion of our money goes straight to them. It's a great feel-good story for everybody. The client feels like they're getting a win because they see that we're doing good within the community, and it helps us attract clients who have that philanthropy mindset. One of the things that I tell clients when I first meet with them is like, if you're looking for a shark, call the next person because I'm not it. We're going to do everything we can to get you the most money, but if we're talking about a few dollars here and there, I'm not going to be the guy that's like, hey, there's $1,000 on the table. Let's get it for you. We want to make sure it's a win for everybody. But at the end of the day, we're looking for people who it's that extra $1,000 doesn't mean as much. It's more about like, how can we use this money towards something else that's going to have a better use. So yeah, we started TenFold Impact Initiative about a year ago. It's been really well received. Clients love it. We love giving money back to local charities. It's been just overall a really great experience.
And it's real local charities as well, isn't it? You were telling me when we had our pre-calls there. So I think that's great actually, because it's really, I mean, you're people that are buying a house in a community, like the first thing that happens is you enrich that community with, as a result of that sale. And not,
Exactly.
a big national charity, but like I imagine it's like very specific for the area in which they're living, which is awesome.
Yeah. So the top 3 that we like to work with is the Boys and Girls Club of San Marcos, which is our local San Marcos Boys and Girls Club. They do after school programs. So for people that, a lot of it where parents are working 2 jobs, both parents and the kids come home and there's nobody there. So rather than sitting home and probably get into trouble, they send them down the street to the Boys and Girls Club, where they have all kinds of after school programs, things like that, scholarship programs. I mean, they did such a great job with that. Another is a beach cleanup project called Surfrider Foundation. Nice. And they not only every month they do actual beach cleanups on honestly some of the cleanest beaches in San Diego, and there's a reason for that. They keep them that way, and they also work with a lot of the people up in Sacramento that are doing the legislation. So they're going up there and using the funds that we're donating to make sure that we're keeping the beaches clean. And then the last one is a local pet charity, or I should say, the last one is Rancho Coastal Humane Society. So they rescue and foster pets. So we donate money towards them to make sure that, all the pets are well fed and taken care of. My wife and I actually have fostered a few kittens from them as well. So we're not only we're giving money to them, but we're experiencing firsthand what people get to have from them. And they're just a phenomenal organization there as well. So.
And actually,
we want to make sure that everything stays 100% local. Like, we're not donating to national brands where it's like, oh, here's $1,000, and you're like, where did that go? Yeah. If it's again, not knocking on any charities whatsoever, so I won't name names, but a lot of them, it's like you give them a check, and then it's like, okay, where it just goes into what feels like a slush fund, and it feels like it's gone forever. Versus when we're donating to local charities, like we go to an annual event with the Boys and Girls Club where you can actually meet some of the kids and see where the funds are going to, and they'd have like a whole presentation of like, here's what your donations are going towards. So it's really rewarding to see the money staying local and giving back to our community.
Yeah, and actually it's genius, because essentially you are just making the community better. And as the community gets better, the property prices will go up and everybody's happy. So it's a long-term plan for when your child becomes the 3rd generation realtor. Yeah. I love it.
That's not our intention, obviously, but it's a very happy accident.
Yeah, it's a nice byproduct. Yeah, it's great. No, I think that's absolutely fantastic. And it makes complete sense in your industry as well. I mean, a lot of businesses sort of throw charity into the mix, and it just looks a bit sort of tokenistic and a bit afterthoughty. Whereas, local community for where you're selling people their homes, it's a match made in heaven. It's perfect. Okay, so you're like a $35 million annual volume brokerage firm. I think you've just got 4 people on the team. Is that right? What does that look like? How is the team managing that pipeline and keeping all of those clients happy?
So yeah, we're lean and mean. As I said, my dad is one of the people on our team, mostly retired now, but has a good database that he likes to stay in touch with. We also have another full-time agent who's been with us for about 10 years now. And honestly, he's crushing it this year. Love to see it. He's very much stepped into that philanthropy aspect as well. So props to him for being willing to put his own needs aside and give back to our community as well. And then we've got a fourth agent who is mostly referral only, because she's 94. She's been
That's
selling real estate
insane.
for 50 plus years. And I mean, she's just the salt of the earth type of person, 94 years old. And every year on her birthday, I tell her, Palma, I'm never going to stop you from working, but I'm also never going to force you to work. So work as much or as little as you want and do what you want. And she just loves being active. She loves staying in touch with clients. She loves real estate in general. I mean, she put her, she was a single mom for a while. So with 3 kids at home, and real estate was the vehicle that helped her uh, give her kids the life that they deserved. So she has immense respect for realtors and the real estate industry in general. And honestly, I just love listening to her and getting little nuggets from her of like where real estate was, where it has gone, and where it's going to be going.
Mm.
And it kind of puts it all into perspective for you. So yeah,
That is,
very
I
fun.
mean, that is just absolutely unbelievable. Like,
Yeah.
I wish, I hope to God I can be working at that age still, like with my faculties and everything. Just
Yeah.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah.
She must be a real sort of the character in the community as well, with like
She
her
is.
age and
Yeah.
how long she's been in the industry.
Yeah, she is. It's one of those things where if people know her, they know her and they respect her. Everybody just like has a story of Palma, and it's amazing to see. And it's amazing and very rewarding for us, where she has the respect for us, where after 50 some years, she's like, this is where I want to hang my hat. These are the people that I want to surround myself with. So,
Mm.
it's so rewarding for that. So it's
Yeah.
very much an honor.
Amazing. Okay, so I'm pretty sure. What was her name? The agent
Palma?
Palmer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's probably not down with AI, which is fine. Before we sort of decided to do this episode, I was potentially under the impression that you were anti AI, but that's not the case. And actually, you've got a really, really insightful view on why AI isn't good for certain aspects of your business. I was wondering if you could talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Very, very clearly not anti-AI. I use it myself almost every day, just like almost every person in the world right now. If you don't have ChatGPT on your phone and it's not the first thing that you use to ask some of the stupidest questions we ever have, then really, what are we doing here? But I'm anti-AI with client-facing technology. When I say that, it's the same thing where realtors have for the last 15 years dogged on Zillow for having the Zestimate. It's an algorithm. It gets you close, but there's an error rate there that is scary. And I have actually asked AI a while back because, just using ChatGPT regularly, I said, who are the top 10 realtors in my area? And it came back and it said, well, if you really want to talk to an agent, I can help you. So now AI is trying to take my job, and I'm like, no, this is not good. So there's some aspects of it where it's absolutely amazing, and we can use it on a day-to-day basis where it helps us as agents simplify our jobs, and it's kind of like a co-pilot. I know that there are AI platforms called Copilot, and I think they're very on the money with that term. But in terms of something where I'm going to say, hey, you, my client, here is the AI platform that I want you to use to help you find a home. Absolutely not. Because there is no one-stop shop for that. Everything is so hyper local. Everything is so needs based that if I say, here's a technology that you can use moving forward for everything, I'd be doing you a disservice. It's the same reason that on my own social media, I'm not trying to say, real estate's hot right now, you should buy, or real estate's slow right now, you should sell. It's like there's no such thing as one kind of bucket for everybody. You got to sit down with each person individually and come up with a game plan and listen to what's important for them, because it can be very different from one person to another. It can be very different from one community to another. We're in a community of 3,200 homes. We've got 27 different HOAs, and each HOA is drastically different. So when we're looking at one community to another, one community is hot and selling, the other one is stagnant, and it could be for a variety of reasons. So when we're meeting with one person, we're like, hey, I know that that one over there sold for crazy dollars, but your community is not. So we have to be cognizant of that versus something like Zillow's like, well, in your zip code, based on square footages, here's your price. So everything we're doing is yes, we're using some AI to help us on a day-to-day basis, but we're getting granular and really looking at all of the details, not just like on a macroscopic, but a microscopic scale as well.
Mm-hmm. And what about, so yeah, I can completely understand that, especially with things like your brand and tone of voice. Like there's no, you're not ready yet, or in any way trusting that you can use that in a way that's forward client facing in a way that couldn't potentially damage your reputation and brand. But what about in terms of your personal visibility inside of AI? You just said that you did a search in ChatGPT. I can't believe it said to you, actually, I could just be that agent for you. That's scary. But it will make, surface recommendations of realtors. And we know that people are changing the way that they search. And we know that people are having very open conversations inside of these LLMs. So, I'm looking for a broker in this area that can help me buy a, single family home. Who do you recommend? Are you aware of that change of potential, the way that people can find you, and are you doing anything about it? Does it scare you, or do you think that the referral model is somewhat immune to that?
It's not immune to it, but it is resistant to it. There's always going to be people that are trusting in AI, and no matter, before AI was trusting in Google, it was trusting in Zillow and going through all of that process. But I challenge people that when they're looking at some of these models and they're trying to find the right person for them, are they hiring the person that paid the most money to get those leads? Or are they hiring somebody who's actually going to do the best job to get their house sold, or to help them buy a house, to help them find a rental, to whatever their situation is? Are they actually interviewing multiple people to find the best person for them, or are they just going based off of what potentially somebody said to get them the most money? To me, that is the challenge that I have for a lot of these. We're aware that yes, there's going to be a large percentage of the business that is not going to be something that we're going to go after. But we're very much an abundance mindset where there's enough business out there where yes, we're going to lose out on some, but there's enough for us to pick up where we can focus our attention on that and not have to worry as much about that. So we're looking into it. And I do think that at some day that the referral only business model is going to be much slower. So again, we're filling in our gaps, but for now, it's not something I don't think we need to worry about for at least 5 years. So we're just going to continue to do what we're going to do and go from there.
And I think as time progresses as well, I think you'll organically build yourself as a hyper local authority within the area. And then you're still doing things like posting on social and, case studies. And if you're putting that sort of out into the ether, into the knowledge graph, the knowledge base, then I think these models will pick up on that as well. But it is interesting to see the future of sort of local brokerages with, like you said, realtors being somewhat somewhat of a tendency for shiny object syndrome. So it is kind of refreshing to see someone who's plenty of business, but also aware of, you mentioned a potential 5-year horizon where things could shift. But at the same time, who knows? Some people just fundamentally don't use AI. And some people, they don't trust AI to make recommendations, and referrals is still, I use AI like a madman. And yet, I needed to get something the other day, and I asked my dad, can you make a recommendation? I could have easily have just gone onto AI, but I wanted to get my dad's opinion. Or, if I've got a friend who I know is, deep in an industry or a hobby that where I can just ask them for a recommendation, I'm going to probably use them over AI. So Do you think that's what the future of local brokerages look like? Is maybe one path or the other?
Yeah, I do. I think that there's going to be more things are going towards AI, towards SEO, towards internet only leads. And then there's going to be more people like us where they're more the independent brokerages where it's, less, hey, we want to have 50 agents on our team and just crush it that way. It's more going to be just more one-on-one basis this way. And there's no right or wrong model. I mean, both can be very successful. To me, this is what made most sense for me. And we're going to continue to do it this way. There's no changing it at this point, I don't think. So yeah.
Yeah, it'll be. I mean, it's going to be an interesting space to see. It really is, because it's getting fought across multiple landscapes, and ChatGPT potentially pulling like listings into its results. The portals are always doing some crazy stuff. Like it's heating up, but at the end of the day, there is a real human element to real estate. It's often the largest transaction a person makes. It's where they're going to live. So I think if you can utilize that human element, you potentially segregate yourself from people doing it another way and insulate yourself, perhaps, certainly for a few years to come.
At the end of the day, people want to be validated on the decision that they're making as well. And I don't think people want to be validated by AI, because right now I could make the stupidest comment in the world and AI would say, oh my gosh, that's so insightful. People want to be told and called out on their shit when they're making the wrong decision. So when you're meeting with an agent versus telling AI, like, hey, AI, what should I buy this house? And they're like, oh my gosh, this house looks great. And then you talk to an agent, you're like, man, you got meth dealers down the street. Like, what are you thinking? So
AI is like your mom. Always tells you what you want to hear.
Exactly. So, people want to be validated by an actual person, not necessarily an AI technology. So I don't think, even with the advancements in AI, and it's going to continually get better, we're not ignorant on that. We know that it's going to continually take up more and more market share. But at the same time, I think it's going to hyperfixate those people that want to have that human interaction to find the person who is more like us. We're just not leaning into that as much. We're going to be here to help them and hold their hands throughout the entire transaction.
That's awesome. Tyler, if people do want to find you to buy or sell a home in your area, or if they just want to follow you on social, can you give me some links? Where can people go?
My Instagram is Prince Davidson. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, follow us on our website, tenfoldre.com. And if we want to put anything, I don't know if there's going to be a chat involved or anything, I can put that in there. But find me wherever you want, or just call me. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. You can follow me on social media all you want, but if you want to talk to me, just give me a call.
Oh, do you know what? And that is a breath of fresh air in the world of like the emails and trying to get through to a human being on a 7 option menu. At least a lot of brokerage owners, realtors, at least they're still using the phone, and it's like one ring, I assume, and you can get straight through. You
don't have to press 0 to get a hold of me or anything. So.
That's good. Okay, Tyler, thank you so much. You've been a great guest. This has been awesome. Take care.
Oh, Chris, thank you very much for having me.